Coach Steve Fisher is with us right now. Hey, guys, how about a round of applause for our head coach here, Coach Steve Fisher, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, welcome to Fisherville, your town.
This is pretty special, isn't it?
Unreal.
Absolutely, it is. It's unreal, and we're so appreciative for everything that our students and fans have brought to this arena, and they've added to the atmosphere, and it's a great event.
It is an event. See, it's not just a game anymore.
Oh,
it's not just some basketball game, let's go to the game. Every single game is now an event.
No question. Yeah, it is. You know, Angie talks about making sure that all of the people that she comes with get here early enough to see the whole process unfold long before the player introduction. It truly is. It's special.
Well, that's how you grow the program. When the players see the fans and the student section show up, Coach, and the recruits come in and they see that it's really one of the great college atmospheres in the game. That's how your program starts to grow and just get gigantic.
There's no doubt about it. We have an atmosphere here that I don't know if many have. Very few have. I had an official tell me the other day that he refed in every league in the country, and that maybe Kansas could rival what he's seen when he's gone into some of these other buildings. Yeah. And it's truly fantastic. And to think that, 12 years ago we walked in the door, it wasn't quite this atmosphere.
Not quite, no.
But we are all enjoying what we're seeing right now.
Coach, when you had the game the other night against Utah, it was a big blowout. And it's interesting what's happened to Utah's program. Because I was telling Billy Ray, I can remember in the mid-'90s being in San Antonio for a Final Four. And it was like Stanford and North Carolina, and Utah was, and it was Keith Van Horn, and that was a Majerus.
Rick Majerus, sure.
It's interesting, but what I thought was so great was that you unloaded that bench, and you went 10 deep with two guys who didn't play because of injury. We're starting to see not just how good this team is, but what's going to happen and who's going to step in when some of these seniors take off.
We're going to need to make sure that we maintain, because we lose some really terrific players. We've got 5 seniors on the club. They have brought so much success to the program. And yet, I thought, and you made mention of it, we saw the Franklin boys come out, and Jamal in particular had a spectacular game. And the future will still be there for us. Will we be 20-0, 24-1? Maybe not, but we're still going to maintain a quality program. We know that.
Yeah, and that's just it. LeBradford Franklin's a kid. He's from Temecula, right?
Yes.
And then this other young man, Jamal Franklin, can jump through the roof. And I think as you watched the team the other night, you go, wow. 2 guys are hurt, and they just played 10 guys.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
We've got a quality team with a lot of depth, and we need to make sure that we're able to manage it the right way. And our goal right now is to not worry so much about next year, but maximize what we can get done this year.
Yeah, and starting with Saturday night at UNLV. Last time they were here, it was a good game, quality game, back and forth, right down to the wire. And now you got to go on the road, play at their place. And you talked to us a few weeks ago about Colorado State is better than you know. What about Vegas?
Well, everybody knows how good Vegas is. They've beaten already this year Wisconsin, who's really good, and they play Ohio State, and people will see how good they are on Saturday. Wisconsin, Virginia Tech, and Kansas State, they have already beaten. They're 18-6. They're an NCAA tournament team. We're playing them in their building, and they're like us. They've got everybody back from a team that went to the tournament last year. So it'll be a knockdown drag-out. You remember last year, 6 technicals, 55-49. Baskets were hard to come by, and we will have more of the same on Saturday.
Coach, can you look at this season and think of times, and I'm sure there's plenty of them, where you say, see, this is going to serve us really, really well as we go into the NCAA tournament? I suppose for me it's BYU, even in a losing effort, in front of that kind of a crowd. And you learn from that experience. And we mentioned to DJ that the last-second shot against Colorado State, knowing you can win at the very end. But how about for you?
I think the way the season started, Scott, people were saying, boy, I can't wait for Gonzaga. But we had a tough game opening the season at Long Beach State, a team that's got a chance. They're leading the Big West right now, and I think they'll probably win and go to the NCAA tournament. They had the largest crowd in the history of their building, and it was a hard-fought game that we found a way to win. And then to go follow that and go to Gonzaga and beat a team that, although they're struggling a little bit for Gonzaga right now, they never lose in that building. And we win a 3-point game on a national stage. I think the way we began the season set the table for us, not only here, but nationally, to get the type of attention that we've gotten.
I also think one other part of the season that's been really interesting is the last time you were in Las Vegas for that, tournament around the holiday time, and it wasn't in the Thomas and Mack Center, and it wasn't in front of huge crowds necessarily. What I'm getting at is it took a lot to keep those kids concentrated, motivated, and they still found ways to win games.
We have good players. We're not always at 100% efficiency. But you're right, we have found different ways to win. We've won with our defense. We've won by making big shots. We've won with the fast break. We've won by creating turnovers. And we have won together. And winning makes you believe you're going to win that next one. And what we've been able to do is play and not have a sense of panic when we look up and we're behind a little bit. And when we look up and it is a close game. And I think that will serve us well as we continue to move through the latter part of the season.
Do you pick out little parts of the game, Coach, while you're watching your team play that'll apply in actually beating BYU when you have the rematch here at Viejas? Do you keep those little things that you're seeing, this is going to work and that's going to work, and you kind of make a little notepad of that?
What we do, BR, is, what you guys, I'm sure, did in football. You go back and you study what you did well the previous game and what you didn't do quite so well. And then you start looking at what are other people doing? How are other people playing different situations with not just BYU, but Vegas and any of them? And you maybe take something you do and add a little wrinkle that you see from someone else. And when you play them the next time, for the opponent, it's almost like an altogether different feel and look to what you're trying to do, both offensively and defensively. So, yeah, we do that. And I'll tell you one thing, we better do a couple of things differently to stop for that. We haven't been able to do it for about 3 years.
That's right.
Coach, this is an amazing morning here on the campus of San Diego State, and we're talking to Coach Steve Fisher, and I wonder if you find yourself even thinking right now about a great problem to have, which is all my guys can play. In weeks past, it's been, 7, 8, 9 guys, but now, like we said, all 12 guys have gotten playing time and have contributed. So you find yourself thinking, maybe we need to get this guy a little bit more playing time, but then we got to take a little away from this. Do you have that going on at all?
What we tried to do in the non-conference season is play more people, more extended minutes, and I'm a guy that when it gets right down to it, I play maybe 8 guys during the heart of the conference season. And if you're going to crack that top 8 rotation, you're going to get minutes, and if you don't, we tell them your practice has to be your game, and you have to provide for me the belief that the way you practice, you will play, and etch that in my mind. And to be honest with you, that's what Jamal Franklin has done. He's been so good in practice that a couple of times I put him in, and I even surprised myself that I put him in as quickly as I did. But that's what they have to be able to do, and they know that. Yeah. And so we've had some really, really competitive practices, which also help your team get better.
Are we going to see more long-range shooting from BC?
Is he here behind me or not? Where is he standing?
Billy Ray says he wants Brian Carwell to shoot threes. So here's how it goes when we're sitting together at a game.
He gets the ball, and I go, shoot!
And I go, no! And so we have this conflict.
Right.
Well, BC knows me, and he knows that if he makes it, it'll be okay, and if he doesn't, he's not going to look at me. He's running back the other way.
Coach, you watched Duke, North Carolina the other night?
I did.
I couldn't do it. Maybe you could. When you think about your team on the floor with Duke, who's 5, you're 6, can you see that? And can you see how, we match up. We do. Or I like the way we would play against these guys. Can you do that?
Or we kill those guys.
I really haven't said to myself, boy, I think we would match up with this team over this team. I hope we play that one if we get into the tournament as opposed to that one. I do know this. Unlike our first trip to the NCAA tournament when we were grossly outmanned against Illinois, we could play anybody in the country right now, no matter whether it would be Ohio State or Duke or Kansas or any of them, and we would not have to worry about scheming to stay in the game. We've got players. We've got players that could play anywhere in the country, and we've got players that can compete against any team in the country.
Beautiful. Loving it.
Love that.
We got to end it right there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coach Steve Fisher, everybody. Coach Fisher this morning. Coach, loving this. This is so great.
Thank you, gang. We really appreciate the fact that you would do your show prime time out here with us and with our students and fans. But I do think that this event that's going on right now in San Diego merits the kind of coverage that you have provided for us for all season long, and we appreciate that, and let's just ride this train as long as we can.
I just want to know one final thing. Do you think, Coach, any student that spent all night waiting to get tickets might consider making a deal where they give me and Billy Ray their tickets and they can take their choice of box number 1, box number 2, or box number 3? Coach, let's make a deal. I'm talking Monty Hall style, Wayne Brady now, the modern day, let's make a deal. Bring those tickets, students. Bring them right here. They are yours, and you can choose box 1, 2, or 3. Coach, do you think we can make a deal this morning?
Now, I don't want to say anything disparaging about box 1, 2, or 3, but we got college-educated students here, so I don't think they're going to be running up here giving their tickets to box number 1, 2, or 3.
Hey, where's that one drunken idiot? He'll do it. Where's that one moron? He'll do it. Oh, sorry. Coach, such a pleasure to be with you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.